District Board of Education meeting. If you would all please stand with me for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome everybody. Our next item is items of interest, recognition, and inquiry. Board of Education members.
Yeah, I'd like to just take a minute to thank the Shine On Foundation for putting on or sponsoring, I should say, the Biddy basketball that they're hosting at St. Clair High School. One of my kiddos attended, and they said it was fun, and it sounds like they had a really great turnout, and that's an amazing thing because they paid for all of the kiddos to play this year in their jerseys, and so thank you guys.
Oh, good. Awesome. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll just take a minute. Our athletic teams are making a name for themselves in the state right now. I had mentioned last time our tennis teams were, St. Clair was fifth in the state in their division, and Marine City was ninth in the state in their division. And then more recently, St. Clair Cross Country was 12th in the state run. And now, of course, we all know Marine City is working on being number one in the state. So good luck to them, and congratulations to all those teams.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'd just like to wish everybody a safe and happy Thanksgiving, and good luck to the Mariners this weekend as they travel to Ford Field. Hope everybody stays safe. Mrs. Sybula?
Sure, thank you. We have many students that sign and participate in athletics and the fine arts beyond East China schools. But we have one special one that we want to highlight tonight, and that's our own board member, Todd DeSora's son, Derek, will be playing tennis at Western. So go Broncos, and congratulations to Derek.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is the academic spotlight this evening at St. Clair High School with Mr. Ron Miller giving us an update.
Thanks. Good evening, everybody. Appreciate the opportunity to be here representing St. Clair High School. I'm going to do kind of a review of St. Clair High School during the first marking period and a return to normalish, or the new normal, or conditions formerly known as normal. So we'll get started here. We'll welcome some, well, theoretically. Craig, are you just teasing me? There we go. We're going to welcome some new St. Clair High School faculty. Chris Van Sice, who's coming in from East Point High School, joined us in October teaching special education. Tim Zuba coming in from Chip Valley, also teaching special education. He's split between St. Clair Middle School and St. Clair High School. Got a Marine City High School graduate, TJ Schindler, joining us from Brown City. He's a coach for us and teaches PE and health. He also has a little shtick. Every Friday he comes in with an ugly Christmas sweater, plays Christmas music, and tells us how many shopping days there are, and he wants you guys to know there's 32 shopping days left. We have Kate Volpe, who actually joined us last year. She's a St. Clair High School graduate, split between St. Clair High School and St. Clair Middle. She's teaching STEM and Project Lead the Way classes and really increasing student interest in there. Just got a couple snapshots of kids working on lab stuff within the last couple weeks. All of our teachers are doing a great job of supporting students, using what technology we have, maximizing the opportunities, and also making sure that our students are hitting performance indicators. This is Mrs. Distorath in English, Mrs. Meyer in a math class, Ms. Eberhard in English, Mr. Eberhard in AP Bio, and this is Sarah Black, who teaches art. On this particular day that I was in there, I was kind of intrigued with the project that they were focused on. Those shoes are made exclusively out of masking tape, and like the detail is just incredible. It's on display in the media center. It's really, really neat. I'm glad that, again, kids have an opportunity to do that this year. One of the parts of getting back to normal is also connecting with the community members, and board member Mrs. Chop in her other life works for the St. Clair County Child Abuse and Neglect Council. She and her partner Steve Gillett came in and facilitated an important conversation with our health students last week. We appreciate you doing that, and again, we're glad we're able to do that with our community members. Now, this silly picture of the cafeteria doesn't look like much, but we intentionally went to 3 lunch periods to reduce the number of kids in each lunch and then limit the number of kids that can sit at the table, just to minimize the stress on kids. And the impact has really been clearly obvious. So at the beginning of the year, one of the traditions that is 2 or 3 years old at St. Clair High School is senior parking. Kids get a chance to personalize their parking spaces. It's been sponsored by the Senior All-Night Party. Again, it's fun, and it's something that gets kids involved in school and a return to, again, that word normal. We did have a little bit of a setback at the beginning of the year. We had beloved student Malcolm Bissett pass away from health-related matters. This is him last year with his link, Will Smith. Now, Malcolm was known for a lot of things, but one thing was his favorite color was red. And on their own, our students organized a red out for him at our first home football game, which was fun for them. It was a release for them, but it was really a boon to Malcolm's family. It really made them feel well. On that particular night, we're also able to recognize Coach Fox and Coach Likens for their Coach of the Year awards. This brings us to our senior wall, which is an annual commitment to graduate. It's an annual event, again, where we have a little bit of a message, a breakfast together, and a focus and commitment that our students show by putting their handprints and autographs down on a board, which is prominently displayed in the cafeteria, just committing to finish out the year soundly. Now, part of the attempt to be normal is to have assemblies, and of course, at the beginning of the year, we were deciding whether we were indoors or outdoors, and so our first assembly was outside, which we have kind of a neat little setting there, except that there's no power and there's no PA and there's no real direct way to get kids out there. But the teachers were really focused on making that happen, and so we made the best of it. Kids had a good time, and we got to have some traditional activities, which students really enjoyed. Of course, reestablishing the LINKS program, which I mentioned earlier. This is an opportunity for our regular ed students and our special education students to form a bond and support one another academically and socially. This is good for everybody. Everybody's a beneficiary of that. Fall testing. What would school be without testing? That's all I got to say. So, homecoming's coming up. It's going to be normal, but of course this year is not going to be normal, and on Tuesday of our homecoming week, our opponent's football team folds, and there's no opponent for Friday. So what do? Well, you've got some things that are planned. Kids are excited about it. You want them to have a good experience. So you create those opportunities for kids to just do silly, old-fashioned type competitions, have some fun with one another. I'm showing you this one. This was kind of a neat game. We put a bunch of letters on the floor, and then the kids were prompted with questions, and then they had to unscramble the letters to come up with the answers. These are our 9th graders. They got the answer. They came in second, but I'm pretty sure that the seniors had inside information, so we're recognizing the freshmen today. Some door decorations. So for the event at the stadium, we focused on our band. Positive band, popular band, productive band. We wanted them to be the feature. It allowed us to do some traditional things like our cross-country team running the football and the crown from St. Clair High School down to the stadium. They're proud of that. We're able to recognize longtime teacher, Mr. Joe Fouché. And without an opponent, our football team decided to put on a quick little scrimmage, but they flipped the roles. Our linemen became the quarterbacks and the running backs and the wide receivers, and for 6 minutes they had a great time, and it was really well received. Ultimately, though, we were most happy that we were able to deliver to the families of the kids that were recognized by the student body as court members and representatives with as close to a normal experience as possible. And of course, we had a crowning of the king and queen. I just love this picture because it just shows the size of the crowd and the focus on the band on that particular night. And we're really proud of that event. As far as the dance is concerned, lots of planning goes into that. Here is our theme and some kids working on the setup. And this year, again, to accommodate students and families that wanted their kids outside. We've got some help from Timbers and Precision Care to clean up our courtyard, tree trimming and grass trimming and edging and such. And you can see that's really kind of a cool thing. We had about 150 students that participated outside on that particular night. Everybody else was inside, and that's all I want to say about that, too. Powder Puff, another fun annual event we were able to return to this year. It was a great game, very quick, very evenly matched, very efficient. 6-0, the seniors win. Always got to go through the rules. There's our victorious team, and they're all about next year. The theater troupe. put on Clue in November. And of course, it runs into conflicts, fortunately and unfortunately. This year, St. Clair's in the playoffs, Marine City's in the playoffs, and Cardinal Mooney's in the playoffs, the same weekend that Clue is supposed to be down at the Performing Arts Center. So we adjusted some times and gave people a different opportunity to see it, and it all worked out. Again, lots of work, prepping. It was a really fun show. And we did a student matinee this year. We had 260 11th and 12th graders go down. And it was fun. At the end, they got the dialogue with the performers on the stage. It was really a treat to watch. Fall champions, Mr. Disselrath touched on most of these items already. Cross country ended up 12th in the state, but 4th all academic as well. Tennis, 5th in the state. Volleyball league champions, football league champions. NHS was able to rekindle the haunted house and the trunk or treat, which the community wanted. We had over 250 kids attending that particular event. Really proud of that. And the last item that I have is the band fundraisers. Bands across America have to raise money, and this year they served 453 dinners. Well, that's band director Michael Voltz in the center, humping and pumping there with his chicken. Right next to him is his dad, who is also a retired band director and a former assistant director at Central Michigan University, helping out his son, making it a family event. Part of the drive-through experience, of course, is having music played by an ensemble of students. But of course, these events do not happen without very enthusiastic supporters. Got Sharon Wood and Ron Smith. Ron's commonly known as Captain Band Camp. So that winds up my commentary here. We want to wish the Mariners, of course, the best of luck this Saturday. And as Looney Tunes would say, that's all, folks.
The chicken dinner was absolutely wonderful.
Good. Thank you for participating.
Oh my gosh, that was so good, and it's so well organized.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Great presentation, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our next item is the consent agenda. A motion is needed for the approval of minutes from our October 21st special board workshop and our October 25th regular board meeting, approval of the payment of bills, financial statement, and schedule of investments.
So moved.
Support. Any comments or questions? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Our next item is recognition of persons wishing to address the board. I have one green card this evening from Sean Treadaway.
President Frank, members of the board, Superintendent Saibula, thank you. I'm just wondering if there's any rhyme or reason to the visitor policy, because it does feel like hypocrisy to us parents. What I observed, no in-person student conferences, no in-person lunches with our children, no entry into school to pick up a sick child, no entry to the school to drop off something that was forgotten, no holiday participation for the parents. But if you add a price tag to entry, all of a sudden, we're all welcome. A haunted hallways event held at St. Clair High School for $3 a head, and feel free to bring all of your family. Need football tickets for this weekend's game at Ford Field? Come on into the lobby at Marine City High School. We'll let you buy them in person. Perception. I will be coming in to buy 5 tickets. Go black. Halloween at Gearing. Teachers may provide or collect monies from families for a treat, but no food from home will be accepted. Why is that? I get the peanut allergy thing, but we can't send our kids with some candy for Halloween? Are you canceling all parent involvement? According to the East China School District bylaws and policies regarding visitors, they all state visitors are welcome. It also states that each individual principal will have a published visitor policy. Where might we find these individual policies? You may bar us from entering the schools and being part of our children's school life, but we will not stop asking why. I now hear that we may have a visitor policy by January. Will this be a district policy, or will it be facility specific? Moving on. On November 4th, a question via email was asked if students would be required to wear masks during the vision and hearing screening. As a response from the assistant superintendent stated, yes, the health department was requiring them. Do you know why we asked that question? Because we did some research and found out on our own as parents that the health department was going to force this upon our kids. We did not hear this from you until we asked. Are you aware that over a month ago, the County Board of Commissioners voted on a resolution to bar the director from doing such things? I'm guessing no, you didn't, because you were blindly following her orders and were going to allow her to mask our children without parental consent. You would have allowed this without a second thought. It would have gone on if it wasn't for parents that immediately contacted the commissioners directly. Shortly after that communication, the director had to rescind her latest illegal order. I almost wish now I would have let you mask our children. Perhaps skipping down the road with the director is not in the best interest of this board and most importantly our children. You could have been open and transparent of the director's plan, so parents could have chose to opt out their children for the testing, again, keeping us in the dark maybe. Moving on again. The Miffy assessment. How many emails did you receive asking for the questions? You finally instructed the parents that they could view them at the central office during business hours, which then forced working families to again choose taking time off or not being able to view them. You must have received more emails about that because you finally stated that you would send them out in an email if requested. With a little interneting, we were able to find the questions on our own on the Michigan.gov website. Why couldn't you have just shared the information when first requested? Again, perception. Recently, a parent requested an SDS for a chemical used every day at the school that should be readily available at all times. The request was for hand sanitizer, a simple request. I hope that there's no other chemicals that the SDSs are not available for. I'm sure OSHA would be very interested in the district's chemical inventory and SDS library that is required by law. Again, perception. In closing, these are just a few things on my radar. I know there are many more on other parents' minds. Again, perception. Thank you.
Okay, our next item is our information and discussion items. First up is our Bond 2020 update with Construction.
Good evening. I'm Jerry McClellan with AUK Construction. Give you a quick update where we're at. As you can see on the Innovation Center, the steel frame is up. We're in a phase what they would call it detailing now. It's going to take a couple weeks, get everything squared, get everything connections tightened, and then the roof decking will go on. And then following that, the roofing, and we'll start to get weathered in. As that continues, masonry, the block walls, we'll start to build those full height walls, and you'll really start to see that take shape here in the next month or so. Beginning in December, we start to come inside the building, so we actually have to move the business office out, so you will start to see some demolition occur. It's just one small part of the building. Eventually, we'll be working in phases in the rest of the building. That's the first spot because that's where the connection is, and that's where we have our new entrance. As you can see, the foundations are poured for that, and that'll start to take shape as to your new side door. The front door is going to be the other side. The Early Childhood Center, that you can see, the structural masonry is getting to a point where we would call it substantially complete. Now you're going to see the steel bar joist, the roof framing start to take shape, and then that will start to get weathered in. The brick will follow, and then that's going to really start to look like its final product. As you see in the parking lot, we've got some material out there that's wrapped in white. That's your roofing material. And the way things are right now, we're taking that material as soon as we can get it. So that's why you're seeing some of this. Normally you'll see it stockpiled. We're taking anything like that as soon as we can get it so that we have it on our site and we can get it complete. The other projects are continuing in design. Marine City and St. Clair. Marine City is at design development, so we're still going through finalizing the design. St. Clair, obviously we have the gym addition has been bid out and the material ordering process is in full swing. We just received the schematic documents that we're looking at with the design team to finalize that. And that's kind of a quick update of where we're at. Any questions?
Do we have any questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jerry.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, and happy Thanksgiving to you.
Yeah, happy
You
Thanksgiving.
too.
Okay, our summer tax collection, Angie Gleason.
Good evening. The summer tax collection is imposed by a resolution voted on our board annually. This levy is for property taxes, including debt service, on all the properties located within the school district. This collection generates the cash flow necessary to cover expenditures during the 2 months of the year that we are without state aid payments. The summer collection allows us to avoid any type of borrowing during that period. With that, I'd like to recommend the board approve the summer tax resolution at our next board meeting in December, and I'd be happy to take any questions, if there's any questions about it.
Does anybody have any questions? All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Next is the appointment of our special education director, Mrs. Dawn Dimick.
Hello, good evening. Thank you. I just wanted to briefly update you. Lindsay Grange, our current special ed director, has resigned from the district. Her last day will actually be this Friday. So we did a recruitment over the last couple weeks, and after a series of application reviews and interviews, the unanimous selection of the interview committee was Terry Wedge. Mr. Wedge is currently the elementary ed director for Anchor Bay School District. Previously, he had been the special ed director at Anchor Bay, and as elementary ed director, special ed does fall under his realm as well, so he's still involved in special education. And he is a Marysville resident, and he is excited to be coming over to East China, and we're happy to have him. He holds a bachelor's, master's, and ed specialist degree from Saginaw Valley State University and meets all the requirements for special ed, so we're very excited about the opportunity.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, I need a motion to go into closed session for the purpose of discussing student disciplinary action. The Board of Education will go into closed section pursuant to Section 8B of the Open Meetings Act, Act 267 of 1976, that being for board discussion connected to the discipline of a student.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Okay, please all signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Okay, we're now going into closed session, and we will return and finish up with our action items when we're done. Thank you.